the methamphetamine. Takes them on a trip that, sad to say, some don't come back from. It's devastating, you know? It's scary because you don't know if your son or your daughter is gonna survive it. So every day is fear.
Once that atmosphere hit, it was, instead of it being a weekend thing or something just to have fun, it was an everyday thing. And we don't want to wait till the weekend. And then we were smoking it. We started smoking it. You know, I remember the older homeboys used to call it chasing the dragon. And we'd smoke it off foil. You know, get foil, fold it up, get a big pen, bite the tip and the back off, and just go to town. And as it dripped down, it would smoke up, and we'd just follow that smoke, like chasing the dragon down the foil. And you know, when Crystal came in, it was a more pure form, and that was when the smoking just took off. And you know, it even had an effect on my life. Dropped out of school, started stealing more, because now it wasn't just I wanted to steal it, but I needed the money. And so I was stealing to have money. I didn't want to be broke on the weekend. I couldn't be without it. So I needed that money. I was stealing. And man, I was just going nowhere fast. You know, it was really, it went from being somebody in the neighborhood and partying to being a drug addict in a short amount of time, you know. The party was over. The party was over, and now addiction was a part of my life.
I think it was just at the point of like day by day, not even caring about life, not even having a goal, not even wanting, just completely giving up on school, not even knowing God at all, not having any type of compassion in his heart or concern for anyone, you know. Towards the end, my mom tried everything. My mom, you know, send him to jail, keep him in jail, you know, nothing really fazed him.
I was stuck. I was just in bondage. I felt like I didn't have any other choice. Like, you know, like this is the bed. You know, there's that old saying, you made your bed, now lie in it. That's what I felt like I did. I felt like, you know what, I had a chance, but I made my bed, and then, you know, it was like an oh well mentality, suck it up and just get through it.
When I first met him over at Eagle Rock, he was one of the youth fresh off the streets. He had came in with you know, long socks all the way up to his knees, and you know, the gangster shorts, and just a white t-shirt all the time. And
even though I wasn't close to my dad, I didn't grow up with him, I knew what he did, and I knew the church, and I remember, you know, there was a big old gang fight. It was like 2 carloads of me and my homeboys, and like 3 carloads of the other guys. And they rolled in, and it was like, what's up, and boom, it just escalated. Before you know it, police rolled up, and I jumped in the car to try to leave. In the car that I jumped in, the gun was right there. So I got charged with the gun, I got arrested. I asked them to call my mom. Mom wasn't gonna come. So really, in like a desperate attempt, I said, can you call my dad? I know he goes to Victory Outreach, you know? Because they would give you a chance only a parent can pick you up, right? And so the police called 411 information, and they got the phone number to Victory Outreach. They called the church office. It was on a Sunday. People don't answer the phone on Sundays. The ladies that received the offering, the secretaries of the treasurers of the church, just happened to be in the office putting the offering in the safe. They heard the phone ring, and they don't usually answer, but that day they did. They answered the phone, and they said, this is the El Monte Police Department, and we have Ezra Laturco, and we're looking for Tony Laturco. And they said, Laturco, man? They go, yeah. They pulled my dad out of church. Him and another guy drove all the way to El Monte, and they picked me up from the police station, and you know, they took me to the men's home. And you know, the men's home lied to me. He said, just come hang out, you know. And man, I thank God that there was people there at the home that could talk my language. There was a bunch of guys there that I could relate to. Saw a bunch of OGs, you know, guys with tattoos and mustaches. And I thought, well, these guys, you know, these guys look like they know what's up. So I just heard them out. I started talking to them, and I stayed. And I thank God that I did.
I noticed him right away because he was very charismatic, and I pulled him aside and I challenged him a few times on spiritual scriptures, memorizing scriptures, and he was a good kid, you can tell right away, had a lot of charisma, and but you know, he still had a lot of areas in his life that God was going to work on.
God got a hold of me real young. I was only 18 years old, And so all that stuff that happened to me was just in a real quick, short few years, you know, where that's why I know that if God hadn't stepped in, I would have been dead. God has done so much for me, you know, starting with, you know, forgiving me of all my sins. And, you know, because there was a lot of them. And I felt God's love. I felt the peace of knowing that I was right with God. And then I found out that I could have a relationship with God. And they taught me how to pray and how to read the Word. And all of that, just, you know, man, I was just in love with Jesus on a honeymoon with God. And then the ministry that we're part of, Victory Outreach, we have such a powerful call of God upon our ministry, you know, to reach the inner cities of the world. And I remember hearing a message and saying, there's more guys like you out there. And that struck a chord, you know. I thought, man, there is more guys out. And then it gave me a burden for my generation, you know, it gave me a burden for the other guys that maybe they're sitting in camp somewhere, they're sitting in jail somewhere, they're sitting in their neighborhood somewhere, and they need to be reached, and they need to be given that same opportunity that I was given. And after that is I just committed myself 100% to God and 100% to the ministry that He put me in. And the vision of Victory Outreach became my purpose for living, you know. And I recognized real quick that God didn't just save me for me, but that God had a plan for my life.